Hi there, Sister A here. This is another one of my wonderful videos, and this one is going to be leading you through week 2, starting the home page. And these are the instructions. And it's very important that you start up here at the top and you open each one of these and read about it so that you'll understand what it is that these items are all about. If you're somebody that has experience, you might already know some of that, but if you don't, or even if you do, it's sometimes a good idea to refresh yourself. So check these out before you begin the actual activity. Then you come down here to step 1, and you're going to make sure that you have completed the software setup activity from week 1, and if you didn't, shame on you. You need to do it now. Before you can do this, you need to have completed that. And when you did that, you should have ended up with this over here in Glitch. You should have copied and pasted this information onto your index page. One thing I noticed, there was an error in the information on that you copied, and this said before styles with an S. Now notice over here it's style without an S. So change this so that it says just style before you go any further. Otherwise, your pages won't talk to each other. All right, so coming back over here, now that you've completed that information, we can move forward. You're going to begin creating the first page of your website. You're going to use this index.html that you already made, and this is going to be what's considered your home page. Notice this already says home here in the navigation bar, and if you click on show, what you see is the navigation bar only on the home page. And if you didn't already do so, this is my About Me page. If you didn't already do so, on your About Me page, copy the same information to the top of it so that it has the navigation and you can go back and forth on those pages. Makes it a lot easier. So I'm on my About Me page, I can go back to the home page. All right, so all I did is I copied and pasted what I had there, and then on the About Me page, I changed the title to say All About Me. Ta-da! And make sure that the style.css is what it says on the About Me page as well. Okay, so now we're going to move forward on our index page. Oh, one more thing before we go on. If, when you created your site, you end up with any files that say JS, especially if you're not able to see anything on your page, make sure that you delete any files that say JS. You can leave the README, but get rid of any JS files. And then if you haven't been able to see when you click Show Me Live, then you will be able to, probably, if you did everything else right, once you get rid of the JavaScript pages. Some of them had quite a few, I noticed. All right, and back to our index page. All right, so one thing that it's saying, make sure that it's case sensitive on most browsers. Make sure that you do not put capital letters like it's showing you here. There is a difference between index with a capital I and index without a capital I. So make sure that you always use, always use lowercase. Don't use those capital letters in your file names. Okay, now, it's supposed to have the doc type, which it already does. We put that before. It needs to have HTML on a page. We already did that. It needs to have head with the title, and we're putting the Meta Care Set UTF-8, which is already there. Then you're going to close your title. But you're going to change the title on the index page. Instead of saying hello, you're going to put the name of your business, the name of the whitewater rafting business. I call mine Rolling Rapids, and you can use capital letters here. So that's the name of my site. And notice that changed what's up here. It used to say hello. Now it says Rolling Rapids. Understand one thing. Anything that's above the body will not show on your page. Only things that are inside the body tags will show on your page. So this just shows in your address line. Up here in your address line. All right. So we already have step 2 done. And, oh, the last thing up in your title, you're going to tell it what page it's on. So I usually do it this way. I like to put 2 of those. And I put home. On your next page, you'll put whatever the page is that. Like if you have rivers, you'll put rivers. On your About Me, you'll change it so it says About Me. Okay. So moving on to step 3. It says, we know from the wireframe in your site plan, the site plan that we created in week 2, there'll be a combination of images, headlines, and text on your page. And so you'll open up your site plan from time to time and look at that just to get an idea of how to lay out your page. What comes first, what comes second, what comes third, and so on. Now, we're not going to be adding colors this week. We're not going to move items and set them around on different places on the page. Our only goal is to get all of the content onto the page that is shown in the wireframe. And all items will go down, basically down the left side of the page at the end of this lesson. So don't be alarmed that they're not laid out. That will come soon, but not in this lesson. Please don't work ahead and lay out your page with floats and anything else that you've learned in the past. This page will be, you'll show me in each week's assignments that you did the parts correctly. So make sure that you don't work ahead on this page. All right, now step 4 is showing that we're going to be using images on your page. And we've provided, if you click on Images 1, you'll get my image page, which I give a lot of images for you to choose from. Some logos, banner images, icons for the bottom of your page, and regular images. Difference between a banner image and a regular image is a banner image will go all the way across the page. It's wide and short. And a regular image, if you try to convert a regular image, it's much smaller in width And if you try to stretch it, oftentimes, I mean, sometimes they can be used as a banner, but often if you try to stretch them, they'll get pixelated and they won't look right. So make sure you choose the correct image for the correct part. Now let me show you what I mean by you get a lot of image choices. These are some of the, let me get you out of the way. These are some of the logo images that I have searched for and provided so that you can choose from them. But in order, let's say you wanted to use this little image here. You would have to click it, then right click, save the image as to your desktop. I usually make a folder like I did here, my images for my site, and I would save it to that folder so I didn't have to search for it every time. Then when you go to put them in your asset folder, it's much easier. All right, same thing if you're going to, let me get back to where we were. Same thing if we were going to go back to a banner image. These are the wide ones. You can choose. I mean, there's other banner images. You can do a search and pull up your own banner images. But this just gets quite a few there for you. Same thing for icons. These have some icons for you, but you can choose your own. And the last set is regular images. They say dry or images. Lots of them to choose from. And you can use any of those on your page. If you choose the other one, the one that says images 2, this is what you get. You get one single logo and a handful of other images. I found this too. This is what we originally had, and I found it, it was very limited and not as creative. So that's why I offered up some more images to choose from. If you want to use any from that, you have to do the same thing. Right click on it, save the image as to your desktop, because when you use Glitch, if you just copy the image address, often that won't work properly in Glitch. Glitch prefers that you put it in the asset folder. All right, so let's go on back. And let's presume that you've already downloaded images that you're going to use. I have. The next step then is to get these images over here into Glitch. So the way you do that is, that's my About Me image, is you're going to click on your asset folder, and all you have to do is select these and drag them over and drop them, and it will update or upload all of your images. You got a few of them. Let me try the other ones again by themselves. And if that fails, then you can do it this way. Every now and then I get disconnected from the internet. I'm sure that doesn't happen to any of you. Haha. It's under M. Sorry about that. Okay, and now that you have, once you have all of the images you plan on using or you think you might use, you can put as many as you want in there, thinking that you might use them on page 2 or page 3 also. And that's what I usually do. I gather all the ones that I think I might use throughout the building of this page. So that brings us now to step 5. And if you remember, when we built our navigation, we put 2 links there. And one is the index, and that's called home, and the other is about me. So now we're going to replace the about me link, and we're going to change that to whatever I want to make page 2. And in my case, when I built my site, and I'm kind of going backwards because it's already done, I used 2 pages besides home, and they were rivers and rates, or I could just put rivers, and actually that's what I'll put rivers and rates. And then over here I separate the words because that's what you're going to see. Right, I'm doing it kind of a cutesy way, I guess. But make sure you don't make your names super long. Like what I said, I would probably make this just rivers or rates for the HTML page. You can put whatever you want over here. Now you don't see this part on your page. You only see the part that's in between. And then I've got to do a third one, so I'm going to copy one of these 2 lines, copy and paste, always your friend, and I'm going to make it about us, because that is the one that I used. So I changed this image index to about us, but I don't put any spaces. And then this one, I spell it out because it will be seen. Like that. All right, that makes our navigation. Now, right now, it's set to actually go to the pages. Because we actually put the names there. So I'm going to create my pages so that I don't go just anywhere. Actually, what you should do is, instead of having the whole link here, because notice there's no link over here, it's going to tell you to put a link. The index, you can leave that way. But since we have not built these pages yet, I'm going to put a number sign. That means it'll just stay on this page. So in between the quote marks, just put a number sign so that it doesn't go off into a blank space. All right, and so now we're going to put an image tag for our logo. And right now it's set as a div. It says the logo is going to go there. So I'm going to get rid of those and put an image tag like you learned in Khan Academy this week. Put a space, and you're going to put a name for this. Well, we'll do that later. It just put the image tag. Okay, then you go src, which means source, equals, and there's no spaces here. Now we need the actual image URL. So we go to our asset folder. This is my logo. I copy the URL, go back to my page, and I just paste that right there. Close the quotes and put one space and go Alt equals, and I'm going to call it logo. Please call these simple names and what they are. All right, the next thing that you need to do is put in another, oops, I got to have my closing caret. That's why I had a red mark over there. All right, so now I have to copy this whole thing because I need an image line. I can write it out each time, but why take all that time? And I'm going to put an image line here for the banner. Remember, a banner is a long or a wide image, and the banner I chose for my page is this one here. I think. Oops, wrong page. There we go. And all I have to do, I copied and pasted, is change what is inside the quotes with what is in my clipboard, which is the link to the banner, and change the wording here so it says banner. All right, don't write some big long thing like sunset on a rock, you know, write banner or image 1 or image 2. All right, the next thing we're going down after we've made the banner image is we're going to move down and we have to make our sections. They're going to have H1 and paragraph and one image on each of the first two sections. And it tells you, actually, you can copy what is right here. I made it so you could copy and paste. And that will be my first section. It goes after the header. It already has the H1. It already has the paragraph. Now, if you don't want to write that, you can change the wording or copy it to start with. Then the next one, well, we'll do the images in a few minutes. The next one, section 2, is going to look like this. Give it another line or two. And then we'll do a third section. It's a very small section. And it does not have an image. So if you thought this was going to be really hard, the copy and paste saves you a lot of time. But like I said, you're welcome to put your own wording in these paragraphs, as long as you do the job. That belongs there. All right, and then after you do that, it tells you to put an image into section 1 and section 2, and the image comes after the paragraph in section 1 and before the headline in section 2. So both images go one right after the other on this page. So I'm going to borrow this image line up here that I used for my logo, because we're aligning this with our wireframe that's in your site plan. And then I'm just going to put in a second one, and then I'm going to go get the two images that are going to go there. Go to my asset folder. For the first one, I'm going to use, which one did, oh, I was going to use this one. Copy the URL, remember, it saves it into your clipboard. Go back to the index page, replace in between the quotes, and change the wording of the alt to say image 1. Easy. And or I could say that it's calm, because one's going to be, if you read the text, it needs to go along with, oh, I just did something wrong. Hold on. If you make a mistake, do Control Z. All right, and I put it back to what it was. All right, so now, silly me, got to keep track of things. It's going to go here for the first image. And the paragraph that it's assigned with belongs, it's talking about relaxing on the river. So here I think instead of just image 1, because we're going to give it that name in a few moments, I'm going to give this relaxing. One word, 2 at the most, and if you use 2, connect them with the dash. All right, go back to my asset folder, and I'm going to get one that shows a little bit of a on the river exciting. So I could do this one here that's got the boat ready to go off the edge. So I might do that one. And copy it. And go back to my index page. And that belongs here. Inside of the quotes. And I'm going to call this Rapids. Now the reason I put a whole bunch in there is oftentimes you change your mind. You get to looking at the picture, you don't think it's quite what you want. And it's okay to upload more pictures and make those changes. It really is. Because this is the creating part. All right, so now the last part is the last line in your thing, which is kind of part of what they call the footer. Goes after section 3. Always separate your sections, like put an extra space between section 1 and section 2, and then between 2 and 3, and then between section 3 and your footer, a couple of spaces. Those won't show up and it won't be a problem. All right, so now it says, look at the last line of your footer, and it's going to be a copyright. You're going to put a copyright sign. You're going to put the year that you happen to be in, and in this case, we're in 2018. But if you watch this video at a later date, make sure that you put the current year. Then you're going to put the name of your website. Then you're going to put your name after that, and WDD, and whatever section class you are in. In this case, we have, or this term, we have section 1 and section 7. So make sure you know which section you are in so that you put that on there. And once we finish this line, it will look somewhat like this, but with your information. All right, so what you can do, easy peasy, if you put the paragraph and the and copy with the semicolon, that makes this copyright symbol. So it's okay to do the same thing here, copy and paste, and then just make the changes. So I'm going to say it's 2018, and I'm going to go Sister A's Rolling Rapids, and I'm going to put my name. Normally I would put my first and last if I was a student for your grade, but I'm going to put Sister A here. Please put your whole name. And WDD 100, and I'm going to leave it at 01. Don't worry that it went down to the next line, because if you widen the page, it will be correct. When you're typing in paragraphs, by the way, and you get to the end of a line, never press return while you're typing in code, even in these, to make it look neater here in code, because that will cause problems when you look at your page. Now, if I've done everything right and we go look at our page, it should look pretty decent. Notice my pictures are really huge. That's okay, because we will be adjusting the size later. Bring this up where we can see the whole thing. All right, so I've got my section with a header and a paragraph, heading, paragraph, 2 images together. Don't worry about the size. And then a heading and a paragraph. And here's my delightful banner image. And it's okay to stretch this one because it's rather long anyway. But make sure you choose one of the banner images, not a regular picture. I like this one because it looks like they're giving the OK sign with their fingers. Like, okay. And I like the looks of waterfalls myself. All right, so that's basically getting your page started. And that's where you leave it. You have to make sure, oops, I forgot to do the other page. Hold on. Back here, that's why you always look at it. The About Us page, no, I did it right. Now notice the About Me page doesn't show anymore in the navigation. That's because that assignment is graded and we don't need it anymore. Leave it there, but because I have to still grade it. If you don't have a grade for it, please leave it there. And it doesn't need to be seen in this as part of this. I like this page too. I might like get this picture. It's got my eye. Call it waterfall. See, I never can tell what's gonna be exciting for me on my page. So anyway, that's all you have to do on that. A lot easier than you probably thought, because you don't have to copy all of this in. And like I said, if you want to make different wording in your paragraph, just highlight it and type your own stuff in. And it's okay to use this wording. It's meant to be used. All right, and make sure these two say in the href that you say the number sign there so that it doesn't go off into Neverland. And make sure that style.css and style.css are the same both on the page and on the link, because that's a link, so that once we start making changes or adding colors and things like that, it will talk to it. That's what that link is for. All right, so I'll see you on the next video for week 3, and we'll add some more stuff to our page. Happy coding!